Oh, I've missed this. Welcome back to the studio. If you're new, I'm SLEW. So looking at kind of this area of the studio, which is pretty much has all my older like graphic stencil paintings, you know, the mini gallery over the chill area and the kitchenette. But you know, the way I really started on YouTube and how, you know, my channel picked up, and also my super raw passion into like painting projects was these stencil projects, these very graphic characters that I made. I love them and they're very wonderful. You know, we got some hanging here, we got a bunch hanging in the podcast studio, and they're wonderful because once you make the actual stencils, you can replicate it as many times as you want in different colors, and they're all identical. So I did that. I did many series of those. The really kind of hands-on part, which I love, which kind of separates these projects from more of like puzzles rather than actual paintings, is actually cutting out the stencil and, you know, determining the different layers of shapes of value. So I use kind of like a 4-layer stencil system, which is the SLEW proprietary system. And by the way, you know, we're gonna do it today, older character on a new canvas, new colorway, but you know, actually on my website, I have a full 2 hours going through every single step from digital drawing on the iPad to cutting out the stencils, how to do the 4 layers, how to arrange the values and the shapes. So go to my website if you want to check that out. It's on sale. I think it's worth the 30 bucks if you really want to do one of these projects yourself. So we have this old character. Let me grab it. Actually, maybe we'll bring the whole camera. Should I just keep rolling? Sure. Oh. I'm really excited because I haven't done this in a while. I'll kind of show you the different values. It usually starts with just the silhouette, which also counts as like one of the base values. This, which is like a mid-tone, which is probably a little darker than that. And then we go with the darkest. And then on top of everything at the end, resting on top, is the highlight value. So these are very precise, like it's very delicate and it's kind of finicky, but it works well. And I've done, you know, I did like 6 major projects. So it's really exciting. Enough talking, let's just start. So I actually like to use easels for this instead of my French cleat wall. We'll bring this guy up. The next step is color. Now picking out the colors. Because it's 4 layers, we need 4 values. That's the theory of this whole system of design. They need to be subtly different values. You want it to almost look blended, so very slight steps in the values. I have a lot of spray paint here that I haven't used. I hopefully will be able to find some colors that will work, but it might be slim pickings, but we'll make it work. I like earthy colors. I mean, I do have these really nice blues, honestly, that will probably work perfectly. Let me just take a picture. This is a cool trick. You can take a picture, kind of convert it to black and white and see the values just a little better. Kill the saturation, then you can kind of see the value. These two are these 3 are very close. And if I do remember, it's like you want the lighter values to be subtle and then you'd want one punchy dark one. This is interesting. I mean, I've already done the stencil so I can look back, but just internal conflict. There might be some wind, but I thought I'd just come out here as the sun's falling on Manhattan behind me to say, subscribe. All right, we're ready. I have this canvas lined up. Let's do the first one together. Just get some of this tape. I have these lines, pretty much perfect right here. And so this is locked in and we're good to goose. And I start with the second brightest value as the mid-tone, but you know, pretty much, oh, I've missed this. And the trick with this is not getting too close to the canvas because then it will drip. You actually want to be farther away and more dusty with it. I should have a glove, but you win some, you lose some. I actually don't think I have any. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of different classes ranging from all sorts of different creative and entrepreneurial genres, and they are taught by the leading professionals in those disciplines. I love Skillshare, I really do. I think you cannot beat the prices compared to in-person classes Like, it's the world we live in today. Everything's at home and, you know, everything's kind of online. And so if you really are trying to pick up a new hobby, there's not a better place than Skillshare. And whether you are like a career professional or you're just a greenhorn newbie looking to put your foot in the door of some creative outlet, you know, Skillshare's classes have levels for every type of person. The entire experience, the user interface, the website, the curriculum, the discussion, how the website is laid out, you know, the entire platform of Skillshare is extremely curated to learn. I have actually watched several Skillshare classes that helped me with photo editing, also art, but the one I like to recommend because he's a fellow YouTuber from the homie Jazza, Mastering Illustration. It's a wonderful class that kind of dives very generically throughout color theory, illustration, everything you need to know about the fundamentals. So for everyone who's interested in using this platform, you can click the link in the video description. The first 1,000 people who do so will get a free trial to Skillshare's premium membership. It is really wonderful. And I really actually believe in Skillshare and the platform and the curriculums that they have. It's really great. Thanks, Skillshare. And then boom, that's the base. It's perfectly centered. I think there's 4.5 inches left to right. And this is a good rubric to line up the rest. Even though we still have these lines to line everything up, I like to start with that silhouette. And we just waited about 5 minutes for that to dry. Spray paint dries quite quickly. And this is where you get really close to lining everything up. And I think this will work. Oh, I just moved it. It's a subtle dance. That looks good. The actual paper is not super square, but this looks pretty darn close. And so we're going to the second darkest. I've never mind getting spray paint on me. I know some people think it's like super bad, but if you're afraid to get paint on you while painting, well then, good luck. I mean, I should be wearing a mask, that's for sure, but. These stencils are a little old, actually quite old, over 2 years, so there's a little buckling, which makes it harder to get a perfect spray. It could get under the stencil. That's not a big deal. So basically no overspray there also, even though this is old, 2 years old, the paper buckles a little. I mean, that's pretty dead on. Testing that it's dry so we can put up the next guy. So this is the darkest layer we got going now. You can kind of see where it should go. This looks pretty good to me. This is quite dark. I think this is gonna be this is gonna be cool when it comes out. So I'm not constantly spraying, if you can obviously hear it. It's just aiming, you know. Hey. Just being gentle, no rush. I think that's good. So again, pretty much nailed it perfectly. Wow. It looks like black, but it's obviously the dark blue, and it's in the same kind of like hue range of the other colors, so that looks absolutely butter. Really excited about that. Ooh. One more layer. The last one. We got the highlight. Last one. See what I mean? It just rests like that. Gravity, baby. Just really an ideal setup for this sort of project with the tilt. All right, can we line this last buttercup up? And you can kind of see how I know I'm right. Can you see? Let me zoom in. Can I zoom in? There's no other colors behind these other shapes, if you could see. So I mean, it means that like I'm perfectly in the zone where this highlight, these shapes of highlight colors need to be. So that's another green light on the proper alignment. Just a proper dusting. Arguably the easiest stencil of the 4. Maybe the first one was, but there's not much going on here. All of these shapes are solid. There's no weak points really. So that was milk and cookies right there. We'll take this off for you. Boom. Come on. Beautiful. Love these colors. All right, we wait for that to dry, and then we'll tape it up. Again, more detail about all of this on my website, the premium video. I spent a while making that 2-hour video of every single little step in high detail. So again, if you want to learn how to do this, go check out my website. It will be linked, or a card will be somewhere. Masking tape is really important, but if you let it sit too long, it gets like dry and then rips. Like that. Like I could just tell this is old tape, and it would be risky to use it right now, but I don't have any other. Oh, I think I'm gonna have to wait for tomorrow. No. Just kidding. The art store down the road had some masking tape. Perfect. And also I re-upped some X-Acto blades because this step requires exactly these 2 things. So here we go. Oh, see, that's new tape. That's way different. You can also kind of see the color difference. One's a little darker and like faded. Can you see that? Anyways, we're just gonna cover this bad boy. So we got an absolutely freshie on this X-Acto blade, and we're just gonna cut around the edge. Pretty straightforward. This silhouette of this character is quite simple, so it's actually a very easy cutout for the tape. And that was super wonderful, actually. New X-Acto blade, fresh tape. Made that only take like 15 minutes. Nice, that worked out great. Absolutely excited for this stage. We got the liner brush. We got some dark blue. We just wanted a little darker than this darker value. We got a crude sketch of the digital character so I could see clearly the outlines, because you can kind of get lost within these shapes where the actual borders of the perimeter are and whatnot. So, but this is really exciting because this is where you'd be patient and go as slow as possible. All right, that's it. That's all she wrote. Some ASMR, kind of long video, not as much cuts, editing, just a full walkthrough. Really happy. It's just beautiful. I love the cleanliness. These blues are also really great. I think I'm gonna give it to my friend JT and Denali. They just moved to LA as a nice gift. If you want to learn how to do these stencils, you know, I kind of covered some things, but again, every single step, exporting, making the layers on the iPad, every single thing to do with these stencil projects. The brushes I use, the materials, it's on my website, a premium video. That's all I got. Check it out. So thanks for watching. See you in the next video.